Now in the second case, we will be knowing about this transform origin. In this respect, I'd like to say that transform origin, it never actually works without any transform property being mentioned earlier. So that is why if we have to use a transform origin, then we need to mention the transform property along with its transform function first, and only then we can use that transform origin. Now in this particular case, all we are going to do, first of all, we are going to change this thing into rotate. You may use that scaling property over here, but I would be using this rotate transform function as the effect will be clearly visible, and in this respect we will be discussing about a trick. Now all we are going to do, first of all, change this into 75 degree, or for say 360 degree. You know that a circle, it can round in a 360 degree path, and that is why we had mentioned it over here. Getting back to our project, we can see that this will be the result. Now if we mention here transform origin, this is known as transform origin, and in this particular case, in case of a transform origin, all you can do, you can mention a definite keyword or you can mention the offset position. So in case of the offset position, you are using a definite absolute unit, something like pixel or centimeter or this sort of things. But in case when you are using some sort of keyword, something like left or right or top, bottom, this sort of things, then you do not need to mention any kind of absolute unit here. All you need to do, you need to mention those definite keywords. Now you can use a single value. In that case, you may use it either a pixelated value, that means an absolute unit, or you may use a definite keyword. On the other hand, you may use two value method, two value syntax, and in that case you may mention the offset position and the keyword. And in the next case, you may use three value syntax where you may mention this offset position, keyword, offset position, or you may segment it as you wish. So in this particular case, all we are going to do, we are going to mention here this keyword of left. So if we now get back to our project, we will see that this will be the result. But if we move our mouse out, then we can see that image, it is practically rotating like these nose are sticked into a particular position. But when it is deviating back to its original position, you can see that no such feelings, no such tricks are being occurred over here. So this is the thing that we need to rectify in this particular case. So as we have mentioned, we have used here this transform function of rotate here, and we have provided this value of 360 degree, and we have mentioned that this transform origin to be left. Now the question is, if we want to make this smooth animation such that on mouse out condition, this fox image, it will be deviating, it will be retaining its original position as if it was doing when it was initiated. So in that particular case, what is the thing that you can do over here? If we put here center, we will see that this will be the result. If we put here right, this will be the result. It is now rotating along its tail, as we can see. So we will be working on with this left. Let's clarify this question again. We can see that on mouse hover, the image is rotating on this particular nose of the fox. But if we move our mouse out, then we can see no such effect, no such significant effect is taking place while it is deviating into original position. So how to overcome this particular? This is the trick that we need to do over here. In that case, all we need to do, we need to get back to our project, and here into this particular trans checker child where this image is practically situated, all we need to do, we need to mention a transform origin and we are mentioning it as left. But as we have told you earlier that transform origin, it never is supposed to take place without any definite transform function properties. So all we need to do, we need to put a transform function property here. We are putting this same transform rotate function, and instead of 360 degree, we are mentioning here this 0 degree. So we have made these two possible changes right into this trans checker child element. The first one is we have provided a definitive transform function, and then we had provided a transform origin of left. Now if we get back to our project, this is the mouse in condition. That means when we hovered our mouse in, and if we hover our mouse out, we can see that the exact same thing is happening. It is rotating on the particular nose segment of this fox. Have a closer look. Now I am going to move this mouse out. There it goes. It is practically working in the same order as it was seen in case of initiation of this animation. So we can see that we have put a definite CSS3 animation with transform rotate function and with transform origin property right over here. After this CSS3 animation, we are almost at the end of this particular CSS3 tutorial or CSS tutorial. After it, we will be soon discussing on materialize. So hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.